Hey everyone, thank you so much for being here. Welcome to Micro Adventures. I'm Ellie, this is Josiah, and today we are going to do a full body workout with our cables. So couple things with the cables. Let's get as much space as we can behind the back platform. So if that means you gotta slide your micro like halfway out of your room, do it. Get as much space behind the machine as you can. If you've got a mat that you wanna roll out behind it, that'd be awesome. And then you definitely wanna take off your back handlebars. These just tend to get in the way with some of the moves we're gonna do. We are gonna start off on one black spring, and we're gonna begin in one of my favorite moves, knee strap crunches. So have a seat behind your back platform facing the front. And then you're gonna go ahead and take your foot straps, put them up over your knees like you're putting on pants. Now, if you don't have the foot straps, you can try hooking the little hand straps on your feet and holding there with a flexed foot. Otherwise, we've got the straps on our knees. We'll scoot our glutes down nice and close to our back platform. Hands come behind the head. Okay, so just go ahead and lower your head down to start. First thing I want you to do is just take a deep breath in. Exhale, I want you to engage your core. So wrap your abs in and around you. Make sure your lower back isn't rounding away from the mat below you. And then we'll float our knees to tabletop. I like to squeeze my inner thighs together, and I like to make sure my straps are just above my knees. From here, we're gonna go ahead and take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, curl head, neck, and shoulders off the mat. Drive your knees in towards your chest. Inhale, lower down with control. Knees are gonna stop right over your hips. And then if you're able to get your shins parallel to the ceiling, so it's kind of like you're just sliding your shins forward and back in space. Awesome. So one of my favorite moves, I love getting this tension deep and low in the belly. Now let's talk about that. This shouldn't be so much spring tension that you're feeling your hip flexors. Okay, so if you are feeling your hip flexors, you can try this on one white spring, or you can set your feet down and just go with the crunch. Okay, give your hip flexors a chance to reset, and then you can come back and add in that little knee to chest motion anytime that you want. Good. Focus in, we're really targeting our rectus abdominis, so that superficial layer of abs that we have, right? Our six pack, if you will. And we really want to flex and squeeze those muscles to drive everything through center. And you'll notice as you go slower, this will be more challenging. In 4, we're gonna lift and hold in 3, 2, lift up, hold. Give me a little pulse. Drive the chest forward, drive the knees in towards you. You have 10 seconds. We're gonna lower the head down in 4, 3, 2, head, neck, and shoulders down, hands down beside your hips. Let's float our legs back to tabletop here. And we're gonna do some little toe taps or heel taps. So you're gonna lower your feet down towards the machine and then drive the knees back in towards the chest, little lower body kind of curl. So we're not actually gonna lift our hips off of the mat. We're just gonna scoop through low belly, drive the knees to the chest, and then we're maybe bringing our heels or our toes to tap the machine, but maybe not. You don't wanna take your feet so low that your lower back begins to arch away from the floor. So only go as far as the lower back stays down. Another option would be to try these as single leg taps if that works better for you. Awesome, Josiah is modeling all of our options this morning. We've got just 15 seconds to go here. We are going to have a seat, stay facing the same direction. We'll take our cables in hand. We're gonna go tailbone angel in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So come up to seated, we'll take those straps off of our legs. We'll have a seat behind the back platform, and I like to place my heels on top. Josiah, turn to face me. On top of the back platform for this one. Cables in hand, chest lifted, and we're going tailbone angel, so we're just gonna open those arms straight out to the side. I do like to use the foot straps because they give me a little bit more length on this. That being said, if you're looking for a little bit more intensity in the resistance, you can choke up on the cables or you can scoot back. A little bit of squeeze between the inner thighs, good. Chest lifted, and go nice and slow. You're squeezing the space between your shoulder blades to open the arms wide and then resisting forward, and anchor through your core. You should feel your abs working the entire time you're in this one. Chin is off the chest, great control. Okay, so core as well as working the space between your shoulder blades and the backs of the shoulders just a little bit. In 4, we'll take the arms back halfway and hold in 3, 2, see if you can squeeze the arms back like halfway and hold, and then maybe just march out your feet. Can you get really light in the feet? Use the core. We're gonna go 10 more seconds. We'll come up to kneeling. We'll cross our cables. We're gonna get into a newspaper in 4, 3, 2, and 1. So come up to your knees, continue to face forward, cross the cables, uncross your hands, palms face in, and we'll start that newspaper. So opening the palms out to the side and then resisting back in. So if you're feeling a lot of strain in the traps and shoulders, you can sit your glutes down towards your heels, and that's gonna alleviate some of that tension. Let's see if we can get our forearms parallel to the floor. And what you're really doing in this exercise, right, we're working our rotator cuff, right? So we're just kind of fanning the forearms out wide and then resisting back in. Focus on your posture here, really tall through the crown of the head, squeeze your glutes, wrap your core in and around you to help anchor you. Maybe even find a little squeeze of the inner thighs. Good. In 4, we got a little hold. In 3, 2, take it out to the side, little hold. Now just squeeze your elbows tiny bit in, 10 seconds. You're just hugging those elbows, just tiny bit in towards you. We'll uncross the cables, chest opener in 4, 3, 2, 1. Uncross the cables. Go ahead and take the cables back into the hands, palms face back. Lift your chest, upright your spine. Now just press your palms straight back and then slowly resist. So best thing you can do is take your eye gaze straight out to where you imagine the horizon would be. So try not to look down at your carriage. That's gonna help keep the chest open and the work in the back body. And you'll notice this is a small range of motion. Josiah starts with his hands beside his hips, and then he's pressing his palms straight back like 3, maybe 4 inches at the most. So I know sometimes it feels more satisfying to get a bigger pushback, but if you push back too far on this one, what happens is our shoulder starts to rotate forward. In 4, take it back and hold. In 3, 2, take it back, hold, little squeeze of the thumbs in towards the midline of your body. Good, 10 seconds. We're gonna stand up and we're gonna get into sexy back next. In 4, 3, 2, keep your cables, come up to standing. I want you to go ahead and find a deep bend in the knees, a big hinge forward in the hips. Now start by rolling your shoulders away from your ears. Row your elbows straight up beside you, length through the spine, strong core. Now let's start that sexy back. So strong, straight arms, sending it back. Good, so little mix up today doing this move standing, which is gonna get our legs a little bit active. Now that being said, if this angle on the sexy back doesn't work for you, you can still do this exercise down on your knees. Good. Focus in, a lot of strength through the core. We're also keeping the alignment of our spine, but we're just in a little bit of a hinged position here. Wrap your abs in a little bit tighter. Check in, shoulders still away from the ears, and then slow it down. If you need more resistance, step back. Less resistance, step forward. And if one cable feels tighter than the other, look at the little red part on your straps and just make sure they look even. And if they do and one cable still feels tight, scoot towards the cable that's tight and that'll help even out your straps. In 4, strong straight arms. In 3, 2, strong straight arms, hold the arms straight. 10 seconds. We're going 2 black springs. You have a giant plie squat with a bicep curl. In 3, 2, 1. We go 2 black springs. We're gonna go giant plie squat with a bicep curl. So take the stance out nice and wide, knees and toes out really wide, elbows right in front of the rib cage. We're gonna sink down and back into that plie squat. Pause. Let's go right heel lift, lower, left heel lift, lower, and then slowly bring it back up to standing. So every time you come down into this giant plie squat, you're gonna hold the bicep curl, hold the squat, and give me a calf lift on each side. And I want you to really take your time on this. So we're spending a good amount of time down in this squat. Good. Length through the spine, your tailbone lengthens down towards the floor. The core is super tight here. And let's talk about the turn out of the feet. A lot of times what I see is clients really turn the foot out further than your natural range of motion. So you'll know you've turned your feet out too wide if your knee isn't kind of pointing over your middle toes as you sink down into the squat, right? And why does that matter? Because we don't want to be putting any extra torque or pressure on the knee. So if you rotate our foot out wider than our capability of opening our hip, right, we're torquing on our knee, which is not great. I need you guys to keep your knees nice and safe so you can do these workouts and these classes with us forever. forever, right, Josiah?
And ever.
And ever, he says. Sink it on down on this next one. We're gonna hold. I want you to give me a little pulse through the biceps. Really flex and squeeze the arms here. Little pulses, little pulses. Chin is off the chest, shoulders are relaxed, strong through your core. Here's 4, 3, 2. Let's see if we can lift the right heel up, and we're just gonna pulse down. Pulse, little pulse. You're here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Pulse the hips down. You're here 4, 3, 2. Hold, switch it, lower the right heel, lift the left heel, pulse it down, pulse it down, pulse it down. Flex the left calf. You're here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Go back to full range of motion. Do not rush to the top. Take your time. We're just doing that giant plie squat with a bicep curl. We have a stationary lunge, right foot forward beside your back platform. Your left arm is going to keep the cable. So it's going to be right foot forward, left arm keeps the cable in 3, 2, and 1. So left arm keeps your cable. You can set the other cable on top of your carriage, right foot forward, left foot back. And for stationary lunge, listen, we're going to find just a little bit of a hinge forward from the hip. So we're going to lower down on the stationary lunge. It's a left arm bicep curl as you lower down, bending through both knees. So it's like a split squat. Drive through the right heel slowly and with control, lift up. Now this little bit of a tip forward from the hip is going to load the work into your right glute. Good. Check in with your stance. You want your feet at least hip width apart, like they're on railroad tracks. Awesome. So Josiah, let's bring those hips a little more square and this heel in towards you just a little. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. So again, we're not walking a tightrope. Get some space between your feet. And I have you standing beside the machine so that you don't quite need as much space behind your micro. Now that being said, if you need more resistance, you can choke up on your cable or you can scoot back. If you need a little less resistance, you're gonna inch your body forward towards your front platform. Good, and this one's gonna burn the legs right away. In 4, we're gonna take it down and hold in 3, 2. We'll take it down right here. We're gonna hold. I want a little pulse down through the legs, little pulse down. Left arm is flexed, pulse down. You're here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Slowly back to full range of motion. Try not to rest at the top of this lunge. I need you to stay in a working range of motion. Nice hinge forward from the hips. You've got just 25 seconds left in stationary lunge. We'll grab our other cable. We're gonna get into our single leg Romanian deadlift next. So stay tuned, 15 seconds. I'm sure a lot of you have done these before, and if you haven't, feel free to work without the cables if this move is new for you. Let's go 8, 7, 6. Grab both cables. It'll be right foot forward, left foot back in 3, 2, and 1. So right foot's forward, right behind the back platform. You'll kickstand your left toes to start. Pull the cables towards you like you just did chest opener. And from here, soft bend in the knee, we're gonna hinge from our hips with a flat back. The cables stay really close to your body as you take it down, and then drive through your right heel, slowly come up to standing. So you've got your lats engaged by keeping those cables really close to the front of your right leg as you lower down. And this is a hip hinge, so it's really important that we're keeping the back flat. You don't want to feel any tension in your lower back, and you're kind of pushing your glutes back behind you as you hinge from the hips. Core is strong. This one is gonna work our hamstring and our glute on the right leg. Okay, once you feel like you've got the hang of this, if you'd like to add on, right, to make this that full Romanian deadlift, you just start to float your left leg up as you hinge forward, right? And then drive through the right heel, slowly come back up. Okay, so that is an option. It doesn't mean it's the best way to do this exercise, okay? I want you to do this exercise where you feel your right leg working the most and where you're able to keep some tension on the cables. Now, if you're unable to keep those cables kind of really close to the body the whole time, you might need to lighten up the spring tension just a little bit. Okay, that's a really important part of the exercise. That engagement through the lat helps us engage our right glute a little bit better. Good. And this should be a very intense exercise. We don't have any pulses, any holds. Okay, this is where we're gonna finish out that right leg, so take your time. And this move is super tough without the cables. Good. We're gonna go just 20 seconds here. We're gonna hit a straight arm lat pull next. So we'll stay where we are with the cables. Both feet will be planted on the floor. You've got just 15 seconds here. Keep hinging at the hips, check back in with your core, super strong through the core, energy down through the right heel as you lift. In 4, plant the feet side by side. We'll get into that straight arm lat pull in 3, 2, 1. Feet hip distance apart. Bend the knees here. We're gonna hinge forward from the hips. Start with these arms facing out in front of you, and then you're gonna straight arm sweep them back. So this is a straight arm lat pull. We wanna keep our chest a little bit lifted here, right? Eye gaze forward. Beautiful. If you need less resistance, step forward. More resistance, step back. Good, great control. Super, super strong here through the core. And you're working your lats, right? So those big wing-shaped muscles down the sides of your back. And the legs are still active here too. Seal down the outer edges of the feet, right? Really sit your glutes down and back behind you so you're almost in like halfway to a squat here. Great job. We're gonna go 20 seconds. I'm not gonna give you any variations. This should be super tough just as is, right? It's kind of like a different version of chest opener. We are gonna get into our stationary lunge with the left foot beside your back platform, and you're gonna keep the cable in your right arm. In 4, 3, 2, ditch the cable in your left hand, set it on top of your carriage. We'll go left foot beside the back platform. We're gonna go bicep curl with the right arm as we lower down into our stationary lunge. So stationary lunge really is just a split squat, right? Both knees bend, hopefully to about 90-ish degrees. And we want a little bit of a hinge forward as we lower down into this one so that you're loading the work into your glute. You'll feel it too, right? As you come down into this, if you find a little bit more of a hinge forward, meaning your chest is a little more over your thigh, you're gonna feel your left glute load up with your body weight and drive through your left heel to lift to the top. Great job, Josiah. This looks awesome. So if you need more resistance on the cable, walk your hand up the cable or scoot your body back. Less resistance, we're gonna scoot forward or make the cable a little longer by coming towards the foot strap, right? Every single exercise you do on this machine can be tailored to you, right? Whatever it is you need today. Let's take it on down on this next one. We're gonna find a little bit of a hold. I want you to pulse down through the legs. Pulse down through the legs, hold that bicep steady. You've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, pause, sink it down, lowest point, slowly drive through your left heel, slowly lift up. Okay, we're not doing a ton of leg work today, but what we are doing is fairly intense, and this is a very challenging lunge. You've got just 25 seconds to go here. We'll grab both of our cables next for that single leg RDL with the left foot forward this time. 15 seconds. Let's go 10 more. Quick transition. You'll grab both cables. We'll get right into the single leg RDL in 3, 2, and 1. Grab both your cables. Standing behind the back platform, left foot forward, kickstand your right toes here. Sweep the arms straight back, palms face back, and then hinge from your hips with a flat back and a strong core, and then drive through the left heel and lift up. So I'm not even using any resistance, and I feel this like crazy up the back line of my left leg, right? So you're hugging your arms towards your body the whole time, keeping the lats engaged as well as your serratus, super strong through the core. So it's really important those cables don't start to drift away from you. Keep pulling them back towards you. If the resistance feels a little too heavy, walk it down to your foot straps or lose a spring. Good. Now, if you want to layer in that float of the leg, that is an option, right? The right leg can float as you hinge forward, right? But remember, options are just that. Take them or leave them as they work for you. Right? And sometimes more isn't always more, especially when it comes to this workout, right? We need to find where we can still keep the alignment in our body really strong. Good. You're over halfway through this one. Okay, super tough move. Check back in with the arms, right? Can you hug the cables back beside you? Get your lats engaged. right? Shoulders away from the ears, zero strain in your lower back. That is so important as you do this move. It is a hinge at your hips with a flat back and a strong core. Beautiful. We've got just about 30 seconds to go. We're gonna hit that straight arm lat pull one more time. And then we are on to our finisher today. It is a giant bridge with bicep curls. So maybe you've done this move with us once before. Josiah came up with it. It is excellent. You've got 15 seconds to go. We'll plant both feet on the floor. We're gonna get into our straight arm lat pull. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Both feet planted. Sit your glutes back, big hinge forward, strong straight arms, press them back. And this is our second round of doing this move, right? So, and our lats worked a ton in those single leg RDLs, and we did chest opener, right? So my guess is if you're gonna be sore anywhere tomorrow, it's going to be your lats. Strong through the core, right? We're keeping a little bit of lift here through the chest. We don't wanna totally fold in half. And squeeze those arms straight back, right? You can also really get your arms super straight. You might get a little bit of squeeze here into the triceps as well, just as a secondary muscle. Good. We're gonna go 20 seconds. Keep your cables for the next move. You'll sit down behind your back platform, heels on top of the back platform. You're gonna meet me in a bridge, and we're gonna keep those cables for a lying down bicep curl. You have 4, 3, 2, and 1. So keep your cables, sit all the way down. Place your feet on top of your back platform and lower down head, neck, and shoulders to the floor. Perfect. You'll press your heels down into the platform. Hips are gonna lift into a bridge as you find a bicep curl. So lift the hips up and find a bicep curl here. Elbows are pressing down into your mat. Now slowly lower your hips down, extend out through the arms. Awesome. So this is where we're gonna finish out class today. I want you to be really mindful in your movement. Strong through the core, energetic squeeze of the inner thighs, right? You're driving through your heels, squeezing your glutes as you find that strong bicep curl. Right? And we've definitely got a lot of work in for our glutes today, as well as the biceps, so you might be feeling those tomorrow as well. Beautiful. And I know we normally finish class in a plank, so I want you to just like count your lucky stars and just be super, super grateful that whatever burn you're feeling in your glutes and your biceps is where we're gonna finish today versus some crazy plank variation, right? Are you happy about that, Josiah? He's super happy about it, trust me. In 4, lift it up and hold. In 3, 2, drive through the heels, lift the hips up, hold. Energetic squeezing in your thighs. From here, I want you to give me a little tuck of the glutes, a little squeeze of the biceps. Little tuck of the glutes, little pulse through the biceps. Little tuck, little flex of the biceps. Keep that variation going, one of each. And you're working to build tension every little tuck, every little flex of the biceps. So we're not backing off at all. We're just layering in more tension, more tension, more tension until you literally want to throw something at the screen, until you want to scream. I want you to layer in that tension. You're here for 4, 3, 2, hold. Just give me the pulse of the arms for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold the flex of the biceps. Wrists are not bent. Pulse the glutes up. Pulse the glutes up. Really burn everything out. Squeeze your legs a little tighter. You're here for 10, 9, 8, 7. Your final countdown's coming up next in 4, 3, 2. Squeeze the glutes and the biceps together. Pulse the hips up and pulse the arms. Pulse everything together. Flex, squeeze. This is your final 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Let go of your cables. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Okay, head down for me. Give me a gentle rock side to side. Maybe start to take some knee circles, both knees circling one direction, right back around the other way, or you can circle those knees individually, kind of stirring your thigh bones in your hip sockets. Couple deep breaths. As you're ready, we'll start to make our way up to a comfortable seat. Okay, so take all the time you need to cool down, to stretch things out. But for now, let's seal in our time together. Turn to face us. Let's take 2 deep breaths. Inhale, circle, sweep, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. One more time, deep breath in all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Awesome job. Thank you so much for being here. We love you guys so much, and we will see you back next time.